The walls are on fire, everything's on fire.
Trapped inside a burning ninth-floor apartment, that man said a prayer and then hoped to be rescued in time. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11. Let's get started. A fire broke out this afternoon inside a 20-story building home to more than 100 elderly and disabled people. Firefighters had little time to put out the flames and rescue those trapped inside. New at 11 tonight, Kyle Simchuk spoke to the man who lives in the apartment where the fire started. Kyle?
Well, it was a dramatic rescue. Anthony Trostel had to be lowered down from his balcony on the 9th floor. We spoke to him right after he was released from the hospital this afternoon, and he thinks he knows what started this fire. Did you go out to your balcony to get away from the smoke?
That's the only place I could go, that and jump off the balcony. I would have been a big splat.
And tell
No
me,
bouncing from that height.
Anthony Trostel makes light of what happened now, but knows he easily could have died.
The walls are on fire, everything's on fire.
He woke up this afternoon to smoke and flames all around him. His only option was to stand out on his 9th floor balcony and wait for help.
Multiple reports of flames coming from the 9th floor. There's a man on the balcony, possibly trapped.
Anthony says he feared for his life, and more than 150 of his neighbors trapped as well. Firefighters faced a challenging rescue, and they didn't have much time.
Imagine going up 9 flights of stairs when you know somebody's trapped. You're going into an environment that's already smoke-filled. You're coming up across people that, are having a hard time coming down the stairs. You're trying to navigate carrying 300, 400 feet of hose on your back.
As Anthony stood on his balcony, a tower truck raised a ladder to the 9th floor. He remembers what firefighters told him as they tried to get him in the bucket.
Just keep breathing. You're all right. We'll get you down. Let go of your leg, because I don't want to let go of that balcony for now.
Anthony had minor burns on his hands, back, and neck. The apartment was so hot, his shoes melted to the floor. He also inhaled a lot of smoke.
My whole inside was black, all the way down to the esophagus.
Anthony was back on his feet a few hours later. He lost everything in the fire, but he's thankful he didn't lose his life.
Thank God for the fire pump.
Now, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Anthony thinks a motor in his pneumatic bed may have burst into flames. Fire Chief Brian Schaefer told us this apartment complex is a relatively old building and does not have a sprinkler system. He says it's concerning given the fact that the majority of the residents living there are elderly and disabled. And you can't just hop in an elevator during a fire. Mark.
All right, now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. It was a busy day for firefighters before the apartment fire on Spokane Falls Boulevard. A 3-alarm fire in a different downtown building kept fire crews busy for hours this morning.
Driving to work, it was a little scary because it was so close, right across the street from where I work. I spend most of my time here. So it was definitely a little scary, thinking, it could spread or, to my livelihood.
Residents told KREM 2 at around 4:30 this morning they walked out of their apartments to see flames and smoke filling the sky. No one was hurt, but employees at nearby businesses told us they are thankful the fire did not spread. A nearby gas station manager says customers could not get gas at his store for 3 hours today. At 11 a.m., flames were no longer visible, but smoke was still in the air. The cause of that fire also still under investigation. In other news, a scary situation this morning in North Spokane after a police officer saw someone driving recklessly near Lidgerwood and Wellesley. An officer tried to pull the driver over. That driver then took off at a high rate of speed. SPD did not pursue, but found the car when the driver hit another car, smashed into a power pole, and finally crashed into a neighbor's yard. The driver ran from the crash, leaving 2 passengers behind. They were taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Major Crime still searching for the suspect at this hour. Any witnesses who have not talked to police already are urged to call Crime Check. A new large-scale study aims to better understand the long-term effects of COVID. And for people in our area struggling with symptoms months or even years after having the virus, there is now an opportunity to take part in that research. The Institute for Systems Biology is leading a multi-state project across the Pacific Northwest to better understand long COVID. And Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center is participating in that research. In addition to Sacred Heart, Swedish Medical Center in Seattle and the University of Washington School of Medicine will recruit more than 900 patients throughout the Pacific Northwest over the course of the next 4 years. Job postings in the state of Washington will soon include salary ranges. Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill into law today that requires businesses with more than 15 employees to post salaries and benefits on their postings. Supporters of the new law say disclosing starting pay ranges creates a more level playing field. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of those stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000. We'll send them directly to your phone. Well, new tonight, North Central High School received a $35,000 donation from the American Indian Community Center to pay for new uniforms with their new Wolfpack logo. The mascot name change came after efforts by the students and faculty at the school to change their mascot from the Indians to the Wolfpack. This also comes after Governor Inslee signed a measure to ban the use of Native American names, symbols, and images in all public schools. Well, Gonzaga's Drew Timme announced today that he is declaring for the NBA draft, but his dad later clarified to KREM 2 that Timme is signing with an NCAA certified agent, meaning that Drew could still return to college if he withdraws from the draft before 9 p.m. on June 1st. In a statement, Drew said in part, "One of the best decisions I've ever made was to come to Spokane and Gonzaga University. I have forever been changed into a better person and basketball player because of that opportunity. The dream has always been to play professionally, and after lots of thought and discussion, I will be putting my name in the NBA draft. A special thanks to Coach Few and the entire GU athletic staff. The love and support has made my years at GU some of the best I will ever experience." If this is the end of the road at his Gonzaga career, he finishes with the most points a Bulldogs player has ever scored in the NCAA tournament over a career at 204 points. He only played in 2 NCAA tournaments due to COVID his freshman season. He also would finish with the 15th most points scored in a Gonzaga career. Timme is currently a fringe prospect, meaning that some outlets have him getting drafted while others do not. When surveying NBA mock drafts online, KREM found 3 that did not have Timme listed and 2 that did. All right, let's talk weather now because it was a beautiful day across the inland Northwest today. Plenty of sunshine, clear skies, also pretty warm for, my goodness, April. Let's check in with meteorologist Jeremy Lagu. And Jeremy, you're saying, don't get too used to it.
Yeah, that's kind of it. The past few days where it was a little bit cooler, a little bit cloudier, and a little bit rainier, we've got more of that in the forecast. As we head through the rest of the evening, it is quite mild. In fact, 52 degrees right now, warmer than we're going to be all next week. Yep, that's for real. 46 in Moses Lake, 46 in Coeur d'Alene, and 36 in Sandpoint. Temps starting to drop around the region. We're hanging on to a bit of it thanks to a little bit of cloud cover and the city kind of trapping some of that heat. The sun did a great job of heating things up today. So now we're radiating that heat back up into the atmosphere. Any cloud cover is going to kind of trap it. And we've got just that. By tomorrow morning, clouds take over. By the time we get into the, I'd say even late morning, we'll start to see the impacts of this front moving in. A couple of stray showers move through, breezy conditions in the afternoon, and watch the mountains go from rain to snow as our colder air starts moving in by this weekend. So hour by hour, we fall into the 40s tomorrow, a few scattered showers at the frontal passage, and by the afternoon, we top out in the 50s thanks to some breezy wind.
On this vote, the yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
Well, you heard it right there. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmed today in the Senate as the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States. During the vote, 3 Republican senators breaking with their party to vote for Jackson: Mitt Romney of Utah, Susan Collins of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Jackson's confirmation comes nearly 6 weeks after President Joe Biden announced her nomination. The former public defender will become just the 4th person of color and the 6th woman in the court's 233-year history. The Harvard Law School graduate will replace retiring Justice Stephen Breyer, who she once clerked for during the 1999 term. Taking a look at the war in Ukraine now, the United Nations voted today to strip Russia of its seat on the Human Rights Council. The 93-24 decision came as Russia contributed to many civilian deaths in Ukraine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who met with Ukraine's foreign minister in Brussels, said the U.S., along with NATO allies, has agreed to speed up deliveries of weapons to Ukraine. The Biden administration also moved today to prevent Russian airlines from buying spare parts. And on Capitol Hill, lawmakers agreed on measures to revoke normal trade relations with Russia and ban Russian oil imports. All right, don't go to bed just yet. We will explain the details that led up to the arrest of this man who allegedly shot a woman at the Red Top Motel. We are back in just 90 seconds.